what's up? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Batman 2022. In this video, I'm just going to go through everything that I'm super excited for. But before we do get into it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're new around here and turn notifications on so you don't miss any time I upload a new video or I go live. But without wasting any more time, the main reason I'm so excited for this movie is the cast. The cast seems so phenomenal in this movie. We have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Paul Dano as the Riddler, Colin Farrell as Penguin, Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, and Andy Serkins as Alfred. And we cannot forget our main boy Robert Pattinson as Batman. I am a huge fan of Robert Pattinson. It has my boy looking all schmexy up here. But besides that, there's a lot that I'm super excited for in this movie. One of the biggest things, other than the casting itself, is just the darker tone. Robert Pattinson has over the years proven that he can play a darker character, and that's something that I love so much about him as an actor. Not only did he play a grittier character in Good Time, but in Lighthouse he played such a dark character, and I really like what he did in Lighthouse with William Dafoe, and I just think that he can do such a great job in this role. I know a lot of people are complaining that, oh, he's not like big enough or buff enough to play Batman. I don't think this Batman is going to be crazy when it comes to combat skills. I definitely think this is going to be more of a mentally challenged and mentally unstable Batman, and that's one thing I'm super excited for in this movie, is just to see that side of Batman, which I'll get into a little bit later. Matt Reeves is a phenomenal director. I know that he did a great job with the Planet of the Apes trilogy, and I have no doubt in my mind that he can do great things with this movie as well. If you guys couldn't tell from the fandom last year for DC, you could genuinely tell that he was really excited for this movie, and he loves the character. He's a fan of the character itself, and he finally gets to tell his own vision of what he thinks the character should be or should go through. And then the next thing, when it comes to just the tone of the movie, yes, it's gonna have a super dark tone, but it's also gonna be more of a detective movie. And so Reeves said that he's going for a noir film, so that's gonna be more of a detective movie, and we haven't really gotten much of a detective Batman on screen. We haven't gotten much of a true detective Batman. This movie is supposedly gonna be a character driven story. It's gonna kind of be like the camera's on the shoulders of Batman. We're gonna get to see what goes through his mind, and then the psychological trauma, I guess you could say, of balancing his life as Bruce Wayne and Batman. And then we get that evolution of kind of finding that balance between Batman and Bruce Wayne. As we saw in the trailer, Batman is super depressed and sad in this trailer, and you can see that from the bags under Robert Pattinson's eyes when in that one shot of the trailer. I'll put it up on screen right now, but you can definitely see it in this one shot alone. And he's kind of like, he has that identity crisis that Batman just has sometimes. There's going to be a very divided line, and I think that Batman needs to learn how to balance both of his lives, and I think that's what's going to happen in this first movie. And I think all of this stuff combined will actually let us have a great combination of these two characters, Bruce Wayne and Batman, and we'll get to see a lot of both sides, since Robert Pattinson's Batman is mostly focused on trying to find that balance between those two people. Rumors are also saying that we're going to potentially get a lot of villains, and people are saying that we might even get up to 6 villains. Now, I have a video that already came out where Brentley and I actually talk about our ideal Batverse, and we talked about most of the villains that we want in this entire Batverse, or at least the Batman trilogy. But rumor is we're going to get a lot of villains, and I'm just excited to see this. This might mean we get 2 villains per movie, and then every time, like the secondary villain, it will be the main villain in the next movie, and then the final movie will have 2 main villains, one with a mental conflict and one with a physical conflict. And that's what I'm super excited to see in this movie, especially the first Batman movie, because Riddler is obviously going to be more of a mental conflict, and so is Penguin. There's no physical battle here, which also shows why I kind of proved my point before about Batman not being as physical in this first movie. Like, obviously we saw him beating up those Penguin thugs in the end of the trailer, but I don't think he's going to be nearly as combat filled, or the movie is not going to be nearly as combat filled as the other movies that Nolan directed, just because this is more of a psychological battle for Batman, and the Riddler and Penguin are a lot more psychological than they are physical with Batman. People are also saying that Matt Reeves is taking a lot of inspiration from the Long Halloween comic. Now, I personally don't read comics. I've never read the Long Halloween comic, but I do know for a fact that there are a lot of villains in that movie, and so that also pushes towards the fact that we're going to have a lot of villains in this entire trilogy. I'm just excited for the Batverse overall, because I want to see a lot more of Robert Pattinson and his connections throughout Gotham. Now, not only will we have Pattinson's trilogy in this Batverse, but we also have that Gotham PD spin-off with James Gordon, which is going to be super cool. So technically, we are going to have a Batverse, which is confirmed. We just don't know how extensive it's going to be. And that TV show is going to cover the corruption in Gotham, as well as the corrupt politicians in the Batman movie / universe. And it'll be cool if we get to see a little bit more of Penguin or Penguin's goons in this Gotham PD TV show, because it'll just expand on Penguin's character more if he's the villain in the second Batman movie. Now, the final reason that I'm so excited for this movie is the potential R rating. Now, I don't want Batman to be chopping off people's heads. Personally, I don't like Batman killing people unless it is genuinely grounded in with the story, and I don't think it's going to be grounded in with this story. Maybe in the third and final movie of the trilogy, Batman finally snaps and kills someone. That might happen at the end, but in this first movie, I definitely don't want any killing. So you guys might be asking, what do you mean by a rated R rating if he's not killing anyone? I want to see more grounded action and like fight scenes. So, like when he punches someone, I want to see like blood coming out of their nose or their mouth. Like this movie seems like it's going to be a lot more grounded, especially when it comes to not only Batman's mental health, but also when it comes to crime scenes and serial killers and stuff like that. We already saw like bloody words on newspapers and stuff like that in the trailer. So they're already shot stuff with blood from what we can tell. Overall for this movie, as you guys can tell from this entire video, I'm just super hyped to see what's coming up for this movie and just the trilogy in general, this whole universe. I'm just so hyped because I love the character Batman. I love Robert Pattinson, and I love the realism they're going for in this movie as a whole. If you guys made it to the end of the video, make sure to leave a comment down below on why you're so excited for the Batman 2022 movie. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.